Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Eye on the Ball. I'm Steve Rivera, and you're listening to 1030 The Voice. Welcome to Tuesday afternoon. A lot to talk about. The National League baseball playoffs have started. I think Milwaukee's up still, about 3-0. Is that right, Tom?
I think so. Top of the third, 2 outs. Where are they playing? In Washington, D.C.?
Yes. It'd be cool. So we'll see. That's the first game of the playoffs. I guess the National League tomorrow. We'll see what happens. The finals of the WNBA halftime. The Sun 56, Mystics 46. I'm sure you haven't paid attention to much of that.
I'm afraid not.
But you did pay attention to the salesman who bet $3.5 million to win possibly $7.7 million on the World Series.
The odds aren't that really good.
2-1.
I guess Houston, I guess, is a favorite.
2-1. Yeah, of course they are. Houston and I think the Dodgers and the Yankees. Probably the Houston. I think they are, and then the Dodgers and then the Yankees.
Has Houston already clinched their division?
It's already over. Yeah, so the playoffs start. They're waiting for this playoff game to finish.
What is this game that's between the Nationals and
it's the
Brewers?
It's the wild card game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so their odds are at 220 to 100.
Is this a play-in game?
Kind of. It's the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever wins is in.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. They don't have to play somebody else, one of the other wild card.
No, they're playing them now. It's
peoples.
That's what they're doing right now.
Teams.
They're doing that right now, Tom. Don't confuse yourself. Don't confuse yourself. So Arizona plays Colorado on Saturday afternoon up in Boulder. We'll see what happens with them. I know they had some players available today to talk to. I was not there. I have other things to do. But on
a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. Yeah, well, the coach goes on Monday. Players goes on Tuesday. A lot of things going on. In fact, why don't you go to the Arizona Athletics site? They came out with some interesting things today in a press release that they really kind of highlighted. There's an initiative now from Arizona that they're going to do a lot of things the Wildcat way. Whatever that means, I do not know. We'll probably see some stuff in the paper tomorrow. But they sent us, go to the top. Please go to the top. And there's a thing at the top right here. Can you press the sky? No. I'll get it myself. Right there. The sky where it says the A in Wildcats, Arizona. No. The bottom. Right where the block A is. The strategic plan right in front of you.
Why am I not seeing it?
It's right at the bottom of the page. Strategic plan, you see it?
Oh, down here?
Right there. Hit that.
Okay.
So they came out with a strategic plan for the future, doing things the Wildcat way. I thought it was very interesting because I know every administration, especially at the U of A, when I was here, at the beginning of my career here, Cedric Dempsey had his plan, and then Jim Livengood showed up and did his plan. And then, of course, Greg Byrne did his plan. Now Dave Hickey. But has launched a strategic plan following a year-long comprehensive plan process to engage student athletes, coaches, staff, campus partners, fans, alumni, and supporters. This plan created in alignment with the University of Arizona's own strategic plan is a roadmap for the future of Arizona athletics for how the department will serve, develop, and grow. I thought it was very interesting. I think they need to be a kinder, gentler organization, and people would eventually show up to these games. Over the weekend, they had they announced 38,000 people in the stands. I don't know what was actually there, but it was for the third straight game. The attendance was not very good in a stadium that fits 54,000. So they need to do some. I don't know if marketing would do it. I don't even know if winning would do it. But we've talked about this, making people available, talking candidly and transparently. I think that would help. But this is from Dave Hickey. Our planning process and strategic plan are a reflection of our focus on people. I guess we'll see what that is. The foundation of this plan is the Wildcat Way and embodies what it means to be a Wildcat. The Wildcat Way is the basis of our award-winning commitment to an athlete's total success. The CATS programs, academics, life skills, medical services, mental health services, as well as strength and conditioning. Our strategic plan honors this commitment and takes it one step further as the means for serving the people in our athletics department and campus and in our community. We'll see what happens. We'll see what this all means. I think it's good. I don't want to say lip service, but good something like that. So we'll see what it all means. I still think that they suffer from trans.
It's interesting to note, though, that this problem is not just with Arizona. There are a number of SEC schools that are having the same problem getting fans in the stand.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. A lot of schools do. But I'm talking the overall situation.
Even Alabama.
Really?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
There was a story that I saw a couple of weeks ago, I think, that was mentioning SEC schools that were...
Well, they haven't played anybody until now.
That might be part of it.
When New Mexico State goes into town and to play them in Alabama, no one's going to go.
Well, when Auburn comes to town, that'll fill the stadium.
Yes, of course. I mean, come on. Who's going to watch the
LSU? That'll do it.
The 60-7 games. I mean, come on. You could do things more importantly in that day that you're going to go watch games. Arizona has a lot more issues and then try to be America will be great again slogans. But that's just me saying that.
Well, speaking of the Wildcats in the game against Colorado this Saturday, what's the word on Khalil Tate and J.J. Taylor?
Unless they talked about it today. I don't think there'll be. You'll know when you know, and that'll be on Saturday.
Well, Colorado, I think a wide receiver, one of their better wide receivers, and a defensive lineman, they are injured. So Colorado is having similar problems with injuries. Mm-hmm. But not to their starting quarterback.
My guess, and it's just a guess, I don't know anything, that he will not play. But I'm not too sure about J.J. Taylor. I think they have confidence in the rookie guy, the freshman guy, Mr. Gunnell. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
He won Pac-12 Freshman
of the Week
honors.
Yes. So that's good, obviously. Any good publicity is good publicity, as they say. So we'll see what happens. I'm just interested in this Wildcat Way document where they says our plan shares core values of the University of Arizona. I don't know. After a lot of things that have gone on the last.
Have you really discerned from this what the Wildcat Way is? What he's trying to get across?
It's just to me, it's just a bunch of words. One after the Rich Rod situation where it was a debacle. And they
our kind of guy, OKG.
He was not an OKG here. And then what Sean's been going through the last couple of years, I think they had to show some public forum to show that they're doing what they can to.
How about the
better.
winning way?
That solves a lot of issues.
I'd like to see attitudes that show some swagger. That all right.
They show that. They just need to bring the wins along with those.
All right, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Get that mindset that we're gonna do it. We're gonna get there.
Okay, sure.
Not that we're trying.
No, they don't. They don't say that. This guide for the future is centered around 5 key pillars that are our foundation of Arizona athletics and its mission. The Wildcat Journey, Grand Challenges, the Arizona Advantage, people developing our greatest resource, and Department Excellence. We'll see how this goes. Take notes. We'll see what happens. Hey, let's take a quick break. Mike Fader of the Mexican Baseball Association or League, the one he's doing this weekend, is in studio. I got to open the doors for him, and we'll talk more about baseball, the playoffs in Major League, and a lot of different other things with Mike. Thanks so much. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera, and now I'm joined by Mike Fader of the Mexican Baseball Fiesta. How can I forget that word, Fiesta? This is your 7th year already.
9th year.
7. Where did I see 7th?
I don't know. Maybe you can't read. You forgot the little circle that goes above the line. Instead of a 7, there's a little circle that goes on top.
9th year. You used to be a kid when you started this.
Yeah, right. Well, we started when I was running the Tucson Padres in 2011.
Uh-huh.
And the Tucson Padres helped run it for the first 3 years.
It's been a lot of fun, I assume, or a lot of work, too.
No, it is a lot of work. I mean, give you an example. This is pretty much our last stop. We're playing the Fiesta, and I'll explain what the Fiesta is for people that don't know. But we're playing a game in Nogales tonight, and then we're home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we finish in Nogales, Sonora. But over the last 3 weeks, we'll have been in Las Vegas, Mesa at Sloan Park where the Chicago Cubs play, Nogales, Arizona, Douglas. We'll be in Douglas on Wednesday, tomorrow, and then Tucson those 4 days. But for people that don't know what the Fiesta is, what it is, this was the idea of Francisco Gomez. Francisco pitched in Hermosillo, played in the Milwaukee Brewers organization, who, by the way, are winning 3-1 right now in the fourth. Mm-hmm. And just cold called me and came and said, I got an idea. He said, I really think we could bring Mexican teams to the States to have their spring training. The Mexican Winter League plays starting next week, and it's Major League Baseball in Mexico. It's very good baseball. Mm-hmm.
What level?
Probably, I would say AAA with some big league guys. Vinny Castilla is the manager of Hermosillo. Bronzewell Patrick, people might remember him and Trinidad Hubbard. They're on the Mexicali coaching staff. We also have some really good young studs coming in on Saturday to play against one of our Mexican teams. We have 6 teams from Mexico in the Fiesta right now, but the Arizona Fall League team is the Mesa Solar Sox. They have Alfonso Rivas, who mm-hmm. played for the U of A at first base. They have Joe Adell. Joe Adell is right now the number 4 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. The Los Angeles Angels' number 1 prospect, an outfielder. They're expecting great things for him. So the Fall League are guys that are really literally one step away from the big leagues, and they're going to play in the first game on Saturday. When I say first game, every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all doubleheaders. Mm-hmm. They start Thursday. We're starting a little early. I'll explain why in a little while. But that game starts at 5. Friday, 5:30. Saturday, 5:30, and Sunday 3. The games are 2 7-inning games. A little intermission. We have a home run derby between the games on Saturday, and then following every doubleheader, there's a live band. A Hispanic band.
You're talking about the band to be La
Brisa.
Brisa, Brissa.
Yeah, La Brisa is actually one of the most famous bands in Sonora. Sonora is Nogales, it's Hermosillo, it's Obregon, and they just performed at La Caliente, had a concert at Casino del Sol, mm-hmm. sold out. Along with 3 other bands. So they're really good friends of the Obregon owners, the baseball team owners. Mm-hmm. And they called Francisco and said, we would still love to play in Tucson at a baseball game. We love the Yaquis. That's the name of the Obregon team. And Francisco then got it worked out with the promise that we would not even start promoting until Sunday night, when after that concert at Casino del Sol was done. But let's just say we posted it on Facebook on the Mexican Baseball Fiesta page, and over 35,000 people viewed it. 35,000. Yeah, we had over 200 shares, and all kinds of likes. I mean, so we expect it's going to be a big deal. Now in the first game, we have dollar beer night. I'm not sure this is the greatest combination. From 4 to 6:30. Again, the game starts at 5. Then La Brisa is going to probably play a song or two between games. And then, as crazy as the Mexican Baseball Fiesta is, they're going to be playing during the game.
Oh, really?
We have a big stage down the left field line, and the game's going to be going on. Music's going to be played, and that's what makes this event special.
Well, I was there 2-3 years ago.
Right, 2 years ago.
And it was fantastic in terms of entertainment.
Right.
Nothing like a traditional American baseball game.
As far away as you could be.
Yeah, but the music was fantastic in a crazy way.
Well, and I'll tell you, the only way I would agree to do this 9 years ago was when Francisco did it. Is I told him, if we don't do it like it's done in Mexico, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Because as a general manager of a minor league baseball team, a major league baseball team, your hands are tied. You can't play so much music, and you can't have bands during the game. Now, I will tell you, the Saturday of the Dodgers series for Chase Field, they had 50,000 people. Now, not because of this necessarily, but they were honoring the Mexican Winter League, and all the teams were represented there. La Brisa played at Chase Field, and the Diamondbacks actually let them play music live during the game like we do at the Fiesta. And it's not hip-hop music. It's not the We Will Rock You music.
Yeah.
It's Mexican music. It's music that is played in Mexico. All the PAs in Spanish. But, for the people that aren't Mexican, Hispanic, I will tell you, if you want to just laugh and have a good time, come out. Now, you might not understand everything that's being said, but you'll love the atmosphere. If you like a lot of music and a lot of noise. If
they listen to Bill Walton and they watch basketball, they don't need to learn what the announcer is talking about.
No, that would be true. So it's I don't even understand Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, but yet I've learned to love this event.
Yes, 9 years you should. When I went, it was like 3,500, 4,000.
Well,
people.
No, on Saturday night we'll have 6,000.
Well, I'm talking about the Thursday, Friday. I mean, those are pretty good crowds.
No, without question.
And then they dance in the aisles. They dance on the
they dance everywhere. People. We just got done in Mesa, and it's the funniest thing. There's a good game going on. Hermosillo's playing Culiacan. Game goes down to the 7-inning game. Goes to the top of the 7th, 3-1 Hermosillo. Culiacan comes back, scores 3. Now, I look over by the stage, and the band is playing. More than half the stadium is out there dancing.
Yeah.
And having a good time. And then, by the way, there's a game going on.
I was just going to say that.
Culiacan just scored, so let's go run to the rail and see what's going on.
Right.
And then Hermosillo scored in extra innings, the win 4-3. But people are all logoed out, and it's a young crowd. You see people hanging in the concourse just having fun,
right,
and talking to their buddies and drinking some cerveza.
Right.
Our food is authentic. We bring in vendors from Mexico, and it's things that I've never eaten.
Right.
But the fans love it. I mean, we had like a Raspados type place called Frutilandia in Phoenix. The lines were so long, it was unbelievable. And they have like 5 shops in Phoenix.
Right. Do you, do the teams, all the teams are the same, right? They just travel to the sites. I mean,
yes.
The teams that played in Mesa.
Well, it's our teams. It's, the Mexican Baseball Fiesta is responsible for paying the hotel and meals during the days of the games for all the teams that are participating. And, Visit Tucson did an economic study a year ago. By us being here for just the 4 or 5 days and some hotel and training, the economic impact's over $1.5 million.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And it's a different audience that they usually don't cater to.
And it's very good baseball.
Yeah.
So now we invite people to come out. MexicanBaseballFiesta.com is the phone number.
And relatively inexpensive.
$15 for box seats.
Yeah.
$10 for general admission, $6 for seniors and citizens. So MexicanBaseballFiesta.com. You could follow us on Facebook. Go to Mexican Baseball Fiesta. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. And check it out. I mean, I will tell you, if you are coming, don't wait till the last second because the lines are long.
Right. I was going to try to get into the reason why Arizona is not playing.
That's fine.
I realized this morning, but we only have 90 seconds. We'll get to this on the other side. We've got to take a hard break. But you must be, during baseball season like now, now that you're involved, you must be really in your wheelhouse.
Well, I love it. I love the promoter in me and the
people.
To see people smiling. That makes it fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at 67 years old, I'll tell you it's tiring, and I'm going to enjoy next week even more.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it, next week is a Jewish holiday. It's Yom Kippur, so I'll be atoning for all my sins for the whole year.
You'll be sleeping. What does that mean?
Well, no water, no food for 24 hours from sundown to sundown.
Oh, you could do that.
And that's the purpose of it's the Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
So
You'll
all the craziness that I've done all year, I could just kind of say, okay, sorry, I was just
you
kidding.
jaywalked for a day or something.
Yeah.
Your craziness.
No, I've done a few other things.
Yes, yeah. Well, we're partners in a camp, so I
Right.
know. So hey, Tom, I'll wake you up and we'll go to a break here. Let's go to the break. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera with Mike Fader. One of the musicians or bands is going to be playing this weekend.
Yeah, this is La Brisa, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
But this is what you hear for 4 days.
Loud,
so
loud.
Yes, and games going on. The only time the music stops when the pitcher's on the rubber, and he's getting ready to throw, and that's the only time. I mean, but I've always relished the day to just go crazy in running a baseball game, and well, this is it.
Do you think that American baseball at the minor league level could handle stuff like this?
No,
because
major league organizations and traditional fans will not go for it. It's just too much. I mean, it's not part of their culture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you are truly in Hispanic environment, maybe. But we were in Las Vegas, and they weren't used to doing this. And first day we probably had 1,500 fans. Next day, though, we asked people who was at the game because everybody was having a great time, and we said, "Hey, if you're enjoying yourself, tell your friends and post it on social media." Next day, it doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And
you attribute to that
without question.
You were there 4 days?
2 days.
2 days. So
Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
And beautiful ballpark. Oh my God.
It's brand
new.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. But they were just opening a new stadium. They made the playoffs, and their staff really wasn't committed to it. And but they learned to appreciate it as they saw the fun that people were having.
Mm-hmm.
And and they would definitely want to be back next year, with it. And they're going to kick us off with the first weekend. So, it's just we're going to try and get into San Diego because it's obviously right on the border, and bring in a few games there. We might talk to Artie Moreno about maybe having a game or two at the Angels game.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks. It's been hard enough just to get the Diamondbacks to help promote what we do, and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine, and that's their deal.
Why is that? Why is it? Why the resistance? It's something so simple.
I don't know, competition. I mean, you can't believe that somebody that's going to draw 4,000 or 5,000 people is competition. But they in their opinion, they're king, and they know how to do Hispanic marketing, and we're just kind of a back seat,
mm-hmm.
which we have no problem with.
Yeah.
They do a really good promotion with the league, with the Mexican Winter League, and they've seen that it's very well received. So there might be a way to help them out, but I know we're. I'd love to talk Major League Baseball. I mean,
we'll talk about that in a second, but let's get to the Arizona situation.
Okay.
They were supposed to play in this. They have been playing in this, and then all of a sudden I saw they're not in this.
Well, they played last year. This is the Arizona baseball team. And Jay Johnson, the head coach, absolutely loved this event. I mean, he thought it was great for his players. He loved the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. It
challenged young players. Well, we were all lined up to go this year, and everything was set. Well, I don't really understand this. The calendar's a calendar, but for some reason, Thanksgiving was like a week later in the month of November or something that was going on. Maybe there was an additional week. And the NCAA has a pretty hard rule, and I'm not sure exactly the dates, but like 45 days, they're allowed to practice in the fall. Well, the Mexican Baseball Fiesta this year was outside those 45 days. And the University of Arizona requested a waiver from the NCAA. We missed it by like 4 days. And Jay was really bummed out. Jay really wanted to be a part of this. And we're going to have U of A baseball players out this Thursday, and Jay's going to come out, and they've invited U of A ticket holders to come out to the game. But the NCAA denied it, and they just couldn't play.
And just that simple. So I guess that'll be fixed maybe next year.
They hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay's hoping that because he really wants to participate in this event.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now, if you want to talk about the major leagues,
what's the score?
Well, it's probably 3-1 if things haven't changed.
Still 3-1.
3-1, top bottom of 5.
Okay.
But if
And I really, I would, if you would have asked me to pick today's game, what we're talking about, by the way, is the National League wild card.
And if anybody wants to call in, please do 790-2040.
And I'll be glad to talk any baseball a minute. For those people that don't know me, I've had a little practice being in the game of baseball. I've ran minor league teams for 30 years, 15 in Tucson, and I'll even talk New Orleans Saints because I worked for the Saints for 5 years, and that was a big win over the Cowboys.
Let me tell you something. I'll say this publicly. I bet just a couple bucks on them to win the Super Bowl.
The Saints?
Saints.
Well, I don't know about that without Drew Brees.
6-7 to 1. Well, this is way
right.
before the injury.
But that division's a mess right now.
Yeah.
Atlanta loses.
Bridgewater's doing okay.
No, well, when you have a guy named Alvin Kamara in your offense and Michael Thomas, you're pretty good. And the defense has really stepped up with the Saints. And I'm also, being born and raised in Chicago, a big Bears fan. So finally, Sunday was a good day for me.
Finally, it was probably one of your best days.
Yeah, and I loved it. So, even though I was in Mesa at the Mexican Baseball Fiesta trying to sneak peeks.
Before we go to baseball or to football and baseball, all that stuff, we talked. The Angels fired their manager,
Brad Ausmus.
I think the best manager doesn't have a job right now. The former Cubs guy,
Joe Madden.
So something might be brewing there, and it's called baseball's incestuous.
It is,
isn't it?
Well, it's just some brief background. Joe Madden came up through the Angels organization. Thus, the possible connection. Brad Ausmus, when we had the Tucson Padres, was an instructor for the San Diego Padres.
Mm-hmm. And he's the one that got fired.
He was fired by the Angels. So that wouldn't surprise me now. What the Cubs are going to do, that's a bigger story. I don't think if you're the Cubs, you go with a young manager. I think you got to go with somebody with some experience.
Mm-hmm. Who's available?
Well, I heard a name that was thrown around as David Ross. Now he's got no managing experience
to come back,
but as a catcher and as a guy who really knows the game, could be a possibility. Then it's up to Theo Epstein, whatever he's going to do.
At that level, and you've seen that level for a number of years. Obviously, it's more about managing people.
It is nowadays, especially.
Right.
But that's hard.
Managing people, oh, no question. I think
because the money changes all that.
Sure. No, and it's changed the people for a long time because you deal with major egos. I think one of the things that Steve Kerr doesn't get enough credit for is, well, he has all these stars. Well, yeah, try managing these stars.
No, you're right. And I think Steve should get a lot of credit for that. But I think Joe Madden lost the team, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he was there too long.
The craziness just didn't work anymore. It was disgusting to watch the way the Cubs finished their season.
Yeah, right. They failed.
I mean, when they lose 4 games to the St. Louis Cardinals when they could have moved into first place, and 3 of them by 1 run with leads going into the 7th or 8th inning, come on, that can't happen. And I'm saying that as a Cub fan, but it was just a miserable finish for a very proud franchise. This is a franchise that pretty much drew 35 to 40,000 people every day. Mm-hmm. And it just, they had injuries like everybody does nowadays.
Well, they started horribly.
Right. Well, Darvish was hurt. John Lester didn't earn his money, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Kyle Hendrick was hurt for a while. It just, the bullpen, Kimbrel went on the DL twice. And that hurt the team. Rizzo was out for a while towards the end of the season. But every major league team goes through this. I heard the Red Sox are trying to get down under the luxury tax. And supposedly it was said that they don't think there's any way they can keep Mookie Betts and J.D. Martinez. Well, that's pretty sad if you're a Red Sox fan.
Well, we'll see what they do. A lot of things. Major League Baseball is always fluid, and fluid with changes and people. And one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do was cover Major League Baseball. And I was in Dallas before I moved here, and going to the park with the Rangers. Just the egos involved, because they have, and you know this.
I think the teams that ultimately win are the teams that have pretty good chemistry as well.
No question.
Now you do need good players in the postseason.
Sure.
And starting pitching. I mean, you're going to see a postseason that it might be shocking the pitchers go 6 innings. Now, starting pitchers. But unless you're a team called the Houston Astros, Verlander and Greinke, Garrett Cole. I mean, those guys are studs.
Right.
And they'll go deep in the games. The Yankees, you think they're a good team? Can you tell me their rotation? It's not pretty. The Dodgers have a great bullpen, or have a bullpen that's pitched successfully. The Nationals, Scherzer, Strasburg. That's why I thought the Nationals were in pretty good shape today.
Mm-hmm.
Scherzer on the mound, but Scherzer has not pitched well late in the season. And the Brewers, the Brewers lost Christian Yelich. So I love the postseason. Yesterday I got a picture from a former Toros broadcaster. I got to show it to you. And it's kind of funny.
Who's that? Who is it?
He said, Toros broadcasters getting together. You know who that is?
Vescursion, and I know the guy that he's with
Vince Cotroneo.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Matt Vescursion is doing the game for MLB Network tomorrow, and Vince is the Oakland A's radio announcer.
Yeah. It's been a number
so I love
of years.
when these guys get together.
Well,
Francisco Romero.
You have about 4 or 5 of them out there.
No, we definitely do.
Yeah, Vescursion did poker for a number of years.
Right.
Maybe 10 years
There's
ago.
nobody crazier than Matt Vescursion.
Really?
Oh my God. But he's got a niche. I mean, he's great
he's got
on
a voice.
he's a very good announcer.
Yeah.
And he's on the MLB Network, and they're just it's baseball 360 or 365.
Who would have thought that the way to the major leagues is through Tucson, and
I
not so
know.
much through the Toros, but through the Toros, but behind the mic.
Without question.
Yeah, no
And
question.
so that makes me feel good when I see two guys that we hired in the 90s that are now in the big leagues and are very successful.
Let's go to break here. We'll talk more baseball, but I haven't never asked you this. Who are some of the best baseball players, maybe top 5, that you saw here in Tucson?
Well,
wait. We'll go there.
all I'm going to say is best isn't the right word.
Well,
best guys or best players?
We'll go both ways if you like
All
to
right.
do that, because there's a big difference.
Yep.
The guy that I want to talk to after a game are the best guys, because the best guys.
Well,
not
you
the
want to
best
talk to
players.
the best players.
No, because usually those guys are the jerks.
Right.
So I want to talk to the best guys. Hopefully they did well enough that we could do a story on them. So let's take a break real quick on 10:30 The Voice. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 10:30 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera, here with Mike Fader of the Mexican Baseball Fiesta for this weekend. What were we talking about? We were going to go talk about
Best players?
best players all time on Toros, Tucson Toros, and Sidewinders.
Well, I can go back to the Jackson Mets years, too.
No. People in this town.
Well, a guy named Darryl Strawberry might be somebody they might know.
Yeah, but bad guy, good guy?
I thought he was a good guy. I just thought he was just eaten up by the environment.
So
of
1980,
New
you're
York.
talking about 1980-ish?
Yeah, 1981, somewhere. He by playing in New York City and L.A., it crushed him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he was a kid. He was 18 years old when he played for us. Another great player that I thought would have a much greater major league career is Greg Jeffries. And he's made good money in the big leagues, but I thought he was going to be a superstar. In Tucson, player-wise, Anthony Rizzo. And had 100 RBIs in less than a full season, and just tore it up. But then went to San Diego and fell on his face. Then they traded him, and he's actually had very good years with the Cubs. Now you want to change categories
To good.
not the best players ever, the best guys.
Yeah.
And to me, that's as important, if not more important.
To me, it is.
And I think in the minor leagues, I think that's what wins you games, because the prospect and the guy who's a star, they're not in it. They're in it just to go to the big leagues. So you put in now the guys I'm going to talk about. Dave Rohde, shortstop, played at the U of A. Carlo Colombino, still lives in Tucson.
Yep.
Just saw this other one the other day. He's a coach on the Mexicali coaching staff. Trinidad Hubbard, who was Trent Hubbard. Joe Miklick. How do you get any better than Joe Miklick?
The game winner.
Just
Is he in town?
he's a coach. He's managing in minor league baseball.
Yeah.
He's had some great ejections.
Yeah.
That,
I was just going to say
that
that.
have made.
Yeah, right. I wasn't sure if it was him or somebody else.
No, it's him.
That's him. Kicking the dirt and throwing tantrums.
So those are the guys that are special. Al Pedrique, and a name that probably nobody in Tucson knows, but he lives in Tucson in the off season. Is a coach, first base coach of the Oakland A's. Was with us when I was in Jackson, Mississippi, with the Jackson Mets. He was with us 4 years, and the best.
Right.
I mean, the absolute best.
So when you had great teams that won a title here or two, you kind of knew the chemistry was good. Obviously.
Well, 91 when we won the first championship.
Right.
I don't know if you covered that team.
I did.
But two of the stars of that game. Well, we had Kenny Lofton on that team, but the people who won the final game were Joe Mikulik and Trent Hubbard.
Hit the game winner.
A game winner, and Hubby scored. Kenny Lofton did get on base in that inning. But that was a Bob Skinner managed team.
Right. One of another good guys.
Oh, great guy.
Is he still around?
He's still alive. He's in San Diego.
He must be an older.
He's probably he's in his 80s.
80s.
But Skins, he built that family. I love in sports. It could sound like a cliche to a writer like you, but there really truly is some family on some really good teams.
Sure.
And those are the guys that like playing together,
right.
and will sacrifice. Will hit the ball behind a runner instead of trying to hit the 3-run homer.
Right.
We'll steal the base. We'll make the great play in the outfield. So
you were here doing this for how long?
I came to Tucson in 1989.
So you
and was here. Then I snuck off to go to the NFL for 5 years, and then came back, and we had the Tucson Padres in 2011 to 13. So I was a GM in Tucson in AAA baseball for 15 years.
So you know why they win. You know they win, great chemistry, good players. You probably also know that there's some bad chemistry, just the chemistry's not right, and you have no control over it because your job is to bring butts into the seats.
Right, I can't worry about it.
Yeah.
For me, wins or losses was inconsequential, because again, if we didn't, I'm still going to have dollar beer night, whether we're winning or losing. I'm going to have the San Diego Chicken come in. And we're going to do things like that. But, well, of course, I'd rather win than lose.
And that's what brought people in.
Not necessarily winning.
It helped, no?
No. 91, because it was the first championship ever. And, oh, by the way, our center fielder was the guy who played in the U of A basketball team.
Sure.
So that was our best year.
Okay.
But, no, I not necessarily in the minor leagues. Now, AAA is the hardest level from a GM standpoint, because there's so many guys that just want to get to the big leagues, and they know when that player above them
has
got a hangnail.
Yeah.
And literally, they'll know before the game's over if somebody sprained his ankle.
Let me ask you something. So, and we'll go.
But you can't blame them for that, wanting to go to the big leagues.
No, it's a dichotomy that I had to deal with and had to understand, because the guys who are coming down are really upset because they're down, and their checks aren't the same, I guess. And the guys
checks are not the same.
And the guys moving up are dying to be up there.
Right.
So there's that really dichotomy, like I said. But what is the difference? You're a AAA player, and like Mejia agreed, Breen? He's making X amount of money. He goes to play for maybe a week. What's the difference?
Well, that's major league minimum, whatever that is. It's around $500,000 prorated. He'll make more in that 1 month he's in the big leagues than he will in 1 or 2 minor league seasons combined. So it's. You got 162 games over 6 months.
Right.
So any math majors listening right now, if you redo the math. And do 162 divided by $500,000. That's a lot of money.
Let me say this. Did you see the video of the guy who's toiled in minor league forever, and he finally got up there, and I guess he faced his brother?
Yes.
Whatever it was. That's the stuff that you love to see as a report, because the guy cried. I've been doing this all my life, yada, yada, and then he finally got the call up.
Right.
And you've seen that a few times.
Oh, my God. And there's so many pranks pulled on players when they're going to the big leagues for the first time. by the manager on how he tells them and how his teammates react.
Right.
You know what kind of guy he is when you see all of his teammates jumping up and down and spraying him and pouring things all over him, because they're truly excited for him to live his dream and play in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah. One of the guys that I didn't like, Travis Lee, one of those guys that, number one
Think
guy.
about his situation. He's supposed to be a stud, right? Where did he play? Cal State Fullerton?
Yeah, I think so. California team.
Number
one draft guy.
Right. And his first year in AAA, there was no AAA team. So he was sent to the Tucson Toros on loan, Milwaukee Brewers team. But he's another one. If you talk about guys that lived up to their billing, he didn't live up to his billing. That's for sure.
Right. Many of them don't. Many of them just kind of, but that's just the nature of the beast because it's so difficult.
It is.
And then you have the lower drafted guys who find a way to get there.
Oh, in baseball, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Anybody want to call?
No,
Are we too late?
Too late now. We've got a minute left.
Oh.
Goes by really quickly when you
does.
have a guest. But you'll come back. I mean, you're gonna be busy. You're not gonna get any sleep until Monday, probably.
Right.
You're gonna hear a lot of music. You probably hear words you never knew before.
Well, I can't say it on the air, but I cut off the music in the parking lot in Mesa, and there was a Spanish word that started with a P and ended in an O.
Hold on. Google.
And I was being called at in unison by the fans. But that's how much they love their music.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. You cut them off.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say what the word is. I got an idea. You'll be treated gently here in Tucson.
Thank you.
Your home place of
it won't happen here.
Well, thanks for coming in.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll get you back when the Saints are in the Super Bowl.
Let's hope so.
or
the Bears.
Right. We got to go here on 10:30 The Voice. Thanks for coming in, Mike.
I see you.
Thanks a bunch. See you, Tom. See you tomorrow.